Alright. Alright. We're gonna make this. Yep. Alright. Whoa, that was an elevator into the sky. Alright. That was a nice one after having like so many failed takeoffs today. Whew. Oh my gosh. So whole point of today is we're flying midday. It's probably about 3 o'clock, maybe a little after now. We came out here today because it's a little bit overcast, so it's a good day to learn kind of midday flying. It's a little bumpy, but not too bad. I spent about the first hour failing launches and just being frustrated in general at myself on the ground. I don't like that. It just felt weird. It's definitely been a really good learning day though, because you know, you can think you're getting really good at this sport. Not really good, but you know, you get a little complacent and then it's easy just to go up and like bop around and have a good time every time you go up. But today we've set the goal of getting better at midday flying and trying to spot land. The first time you set another higher goal for yourself as a pilot, it's all of a sudden you get kind of like humbled and knocked back in your place, and it's like, oh, I'm really not that good. I still have a lot to learn. So conditions are switchy. It's a little bumpy up here, which when I first started flying, that freaked me out to feel a bump. And now I know it's a little bit like more normal for midday flying. I feel bad for the nitro. I freaking love the nitro, and I've like started and stopped so many times today. But I guess it's not been too bad doing that because I keep killing it while I'm still on the ground because I don't want to shred my wing. I love my wing. Really rather not shred it. I've just been kind of killing power. It is getting a little bit bumpier. Keeping an eye out for traffic because there was a plane that was out here taxiing a little bit earlier. Working on spot landing. I don't know how much of that I'll be doing today. Mark put up the pumpkin. We tried it earlier. Luckily, he hasn't taken any of it personally. Like, I'll sit here and beat myself right up. My hands are so whittle. Yeah, that did nothing. Not taking it out on him, but I've definitely been frustrated, so he's been super good about it. Helped me set up my wing. It's kind of a little windier down low, but it's not much different from like beach conditions as far as like steady wind, which we typically don't get in the mountains. But he was like, well, let me go up and test the air for you. And I was like, no. I was immediately like, I don't want to be babied like that. Like, oh yeah, my boyfriend goes up and tests the wind for me before I fly, and then comes back down and it's like, oh, you're good. I'm trying to be a little bit more of an independent pilot. He gets it though, but I don't know. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of really good pilots and hang around with good pilots, and I just have a high standard for myself, and I'm trying to constantly be getting better. So let's see if we can't descend and come in for a little bit of a spot landing. Try not to do too much turning coming in just because it is a switchier day as far as winds go. Kind of want to just be like hands fully up coming in. Could probably still do a 360 at this point. I could be coming in nice and slow, and then all of a sudden the wind just stopped and I start falling a lot quicker, so probably won't go up again after this. This is my 40th flight, but it is getting bumpier, so I'm probably going to call it a day after this one. It is, I guess, good to get used to like bumpier conditions, but it's not fun, so might even do a go-around just because this isn't the most comfortable of flying. It is bumpy. I'm ready to call it a day though. It is bumpy up here. If I ever want to do a cross country with Hell's Aviators, I'm gonna have this good experience at least. I'm coming down quick now, but oh well. Hopefully we don't land in that big old puddle. That's not good. Another butt landing. That is so hard to gauge. Dang it. That's frustrating. And that is paramotoring for you. Alright, we're going to see if Mark can spot land. Laid out my pumpkin for him. He's drying out my wing for me because I landed in a puddle. And that was dumb. Makes me feel like a princess. I'm spoiled. You turd. Looks like I took my wing mudding. It's dirty. Anybody know how to clean a wing? So the whole point of this flight was to get more comfortable and familiar with flying midday, because eventually I want to be able to do a cross country with Hell's Aviators. It was a good day to learn because it was overcast, so it wasn't too hot, not too much thermals with the sun not being out. It was bumpier though. It's funny because when I came in for my landing, I did a go around because it was so bumpy and I was kind of oscillating, and I wanted to just do a little bit more of a wide turn coming in so I could come in straight with my hands up. And I got on the ground and I had this whole argument in my head. It was such a toss-up between, you know, am I making a smart decision as a pilot to call it a day now and not go up again? Or am I missing out on an opportunity to get better at midday flying? Then I got on the ground though, and I know some bumps are like okay, but it was really starting to get uncomfortably bumpy. But when I got on the ground, Mark was like, yeah, I was nervous as your boyfriend watching you, especially when you did that go around, because I knew it was bumpy for you. I ultimately came to the decision that I was being a good pilot by just calling it and not pushing it. I was just feeling a lot of different things with my wing, and so I would bail on so many launches and kill my motor because I just did not want to shred my wing. Alright, I do not want to run again. This is like my 5th or 6th launch. I spent like an hour failing launches, and by the time I got in the air, I was just like, I just want to go relax and chill and like do a little flight, bop around, look at the mountains, but that's not what I set out to do today. So I stuck to my guns and stayed around the field and was gonna try and do more takeoff and landings, but it just didn't happen. Of course, you know, you can say you're gonna do paramotoring how you want to do it, but really you have to go by what the weather's saying and how you're feeling and what make the best piloting decision, which I feel like was the biggest lesson I learned that day. So hopefully do a little bit more midday flying. This was my first experience. It wasn't bad. It definitely took me outside of my comfort zone. Really want to get better at doing spot landings.
Catalina doing sounds like an engine on spot landing. It's a little far back, but a little off the marker.
Just so that I will be able to make quick decisions and be adjusted to different kinds of landings whenever we do end up getting to do a cross country eventually. So it's nice to have friends that you can get their experience and their take on it. So I'm grateful for them.
Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.